So just listening to what you just said there, Samantha, so it sounds like it's not working for employers. The stats suggest we don't know, the dropout rate is huge. We don't know whether they're going on to meaningful employment, and hearing mostly from our first panel, the suggestion is perhaps not. So does the youth obligation work? Does it work?
I mean, that's the question that we're all here to sort of try and answer, I suppose. It's a big question. Let me start from the beginning. The youth obligation in its premise, when it came from the Earn and Learn sort of Conservative Party manifesto, that looked at and developed into young people need work experience and they need to improve their skills. Those two things are not wrong. They are not bad assumptions. What is a bad assumption is to say that all young people are a homogenous group that all need the same support. And that's where this all starts to unravel slightly. So, yes, work experience and skills, but it needs to be holistic, it needs to be tailored, as the previous session said. And what we need to think about is the housing support, the maybe debt advice, financial management. We need to think about mental health support. Now, you know, there's a UCL study that says for young people who are unemployed, they're twice as likely to have mental health needs than a young person, their peer, who is in stable work. So where is that mental health support being plugged in? One of our charity partners is a charity called 2020. They operate in Leicester and Derby, and they have more like a life skills centre, they call it Life Skills, which has a whole person development approach. Looks at qualifications, sure, it does, but also about self-belief, motivation. There's a lot more plugged in. And I think really key to this is their links with employers. They have links with over 100 employers. Is about tailored, appropriate work experience. That doesn't mean a standard bit of work experience. It could be an employer coming in and playing pool with a load of young people and talking about what their job is, right the way through to then having experience of the workplace. So there's people out there who are really experienced at this, and they would be good to be plugged into it a bit better. I think something else that we need to consider is that bit about disadvantage in the labour market. So some young people will be closer, and we know from the Treasury sort of dead weight measurements, some young people will need less help than others. We need to pinpoint those young people and target them that are more disadvantaged. We've got a report actually coming out shortly, and I shall send copies to the committee and to government as well. It's going to be called the Youth Jobs Gap. And what it does is it follows young people through education into their employment outcomes, so not done before, uses longitudinal educational outcomes data, and it finds, we think it indicates that young people, even when they're as qualified as their better off peer, so if they've got a free school meal background, they're still disadvantaged when they get to the labour market, which indicates that there's a lot more around young people that needs to be plugged in.